Israel has a very well thought out framework in place to counter aerial threats. A three-layered integrated air defense architecture is designed to provide a comprehensive, overlapping shield against a wide spectrum of aerial threats by assigning specific systems to distinct engagement envelopes based on altitude, range, and target type. At the uppermost tier, systems such as Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 are optimized for high-altitude, long-range interception of ballistic missiles, including engagements outside the atmosphere in the midcourse phase, where early neutralization is critical to prevent warhead release over defended territory. The middle layer consists of systems like David's Sling and the American-made Patriot, which are engineered to counter medium to long-range threats such as tactical ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and advanced aircraft, providing a secondary interception opportunity if upper-tier systems fail or if threats penetrate deeper into defended airspace. At the lowest tier, Iron Dome functions as a highly responsive counter-rocket, artillery, and mortar (CRAM) system designed to intercept short-range projectiles and saturation attacks in the terminal phase, particularly in dense urban or high-value areas. Together, these layers operate in a coordinated, network-centric framework that enables sensor fusion, real-time threat prioritization, and multiple engagement opportunities, thereby significantly enhancing the overall probability of intercept while mitigating the limitations inherent to any single defensive system. But even this is proving somewhat inadequate. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why Iranian ballistic missiles are penetrating Israeli air defense. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Ballistic missile defense, BMD, remains one of the most technically demanding problems in modern military science. The inherent difficulty stems from a combination of physics, engagement timelines, target characteristics, and adversary countermeasures that collectively compress decision-making and stress defensive systems to their limits. At the most fundamental level, a ballistic missile follows a high-speed exoatmospheric trajectory governed by orbital mechanics. During the midcourse phase, the missile, or more precisely its re-entry vehicle, RV, travels at hypersonic velocities, often exceeding Mach 10 to 20. Intercepting such a target requires not only precise tracking, but also extremely high interceptor speeds and accuracy. The problem is effectively a bullet hitting another bullet, with closing velocities that leave negligible margins for error. Detection and tracking present the first major challenge. Early warning systems, such as space-based infrared sensors and ground-based radars, must detect a launch within seconds and begin trajectory estimation. However, the initial boost phase is short-lived. The missile enters midcourse. Midcourse interception, typically conducted outside the atmosphere, is particularly complex. Systems like exoatmospheric kill vehicles rely on onboard seekers and ground-based cueing to identify and collide kinetically with the target. Even minor errors in target classification or tracking data can result in a miss. Terminal phase interception, when the RV re-enters the atmosphere, introduces its own constraints. The engagement window shrinks to tens of seconds, leaving minimal time for detection, tracking refinement, interceptor launch, and guidance. Another critical factor is system integration and latency. A functional BMD architecture depends on seamless communication between sensors, command and control, C2 nodes, and interceptor units. Any delay in data fusion, decision-making, or interceptor launch reduces the probability of kill, PK. Cyber resilience and electronic warfare resistance also become vital, as adversaries may attempt to disrupt or deceive defensive networks. So even if a country has the most advanced air defense umbrella, there are always chances that some missiles will go through. Israel's missile defense network, long regarded as one of the most advanced in the world, is facing mounting pressure as the ongoing conflict with Iran evolves into a high-intensity war of attrition. At the center of this pressure is a critical issue: the rapid depletion of interceptor missiles across multiple layers of its air defense architecture. Recent reports indicate that Israel has warned the United States that its stockpile of long-range ballistic missile interceptors, particularly those used in systems like the Arrow family, is approaching critically low levels. This situation has emerged not suddenly, but as a cumulative effect of sustained engagements. Israel entered the current phase of conflict already having expended significant interceptor reserves during earlier confrontations with Iran, leaving limited depth for a prolonged campaign. The operational strain is being driven primarily by the scale and tempo of Iranian attacks. Since late February, Iran has launched hundreds of ballistic missiles, along with large numbers of drones and cruise missiles, targeting Israeli cities and strategic infrastructure. These attacks are increasingly designed as saturation strikes, where multiple projectiles are launched simultaneously to overwhelm defensive systems. Even with high interception success rates, often reported above 90%, the sheer volume of incoming threats forces defenders to expend interceptors at a rapid rate. A key technical factor exacerbating the depletion problem is engagement doctrine. Modern missile defense systems frequently employ a shoot-look-shoot approach, where multiple interceptors may be launched against a single incoming target to ensure a high probability of kill. This significantly increases interceptor consumption per engagement. When applied against mass salvos, the result is exponential drawdown of available stocks. Compounding the interceptor depletion problem is the steady evolution in Iranian missile design, which is increasingly optimized to defeat layered air and missile defense systems. Modern Iranian ballistic missiles are no longer simple single warhead delivery vehicles. Many are now equipped with advanced penetration aids, including cluster munition payloads, maneuverable re-entry vehicles, MARVs, and in some cases quasi-hypersonic glide characteristics during the terminal phase. These enhancements fundamentally complicate the interception problem across all engagement layers. Cluster munition warheads are particularly challenging from a defensive standpoint. After the missile completes its midcourse trajectory, the payload can disperse dozens of submunitions over a wide footprint during the terminal phase. Once this separation occurs, the engagement geometry changes dramatically. Instead of a single trackable object, the system is confronted with a cloud of smaller, fast-descending targets. Intercepting each submunition is not only technically impractical, but also economically prohibitive, as it would require multiple interceptors per original missile. In effect, even a successful interception of the parent missile may not fully negate the threat if separation occurs prior to intercept. In parallel, the incorporation of maneuverable re-entry vehicles introduces further complexity. Unlike traditional ballistic warheads that follow predictable trajectories, MARVs can execute lateral maneuvers and trajectory adjustments during descent, degrading the accuracy of fire control solutions. Additionally, Iran has reportedly integrated decoys and lightweight penetration aids that accompany the main warhead during the mid-course phase. In the vacuum of space, these objects travel along similar ballistic paths, complicating discrimination for radar and infrared sensors. This forces defenders to either delay engagement, risking late interception, or commit interceptors earlier against uncertain targets, further accelerating stockpile depletion.